Okay, so I have to explain who Manny is. First, I do have to tell you that this is probably one of the hardest videos I've ever made, and I'm asking for your patience. Watch the whole thing, and you'll see why. I've been working on something. Started off as a joke. Started out with some friends. We were drinking. You know how we do it. We started talking about some Christmas holiday traditions, how they would hide some little elf every single night, and they started talking about how it got on their nerves. And then they asked me, hey Mike, do you do this sort of thing? Nah, dude, we're Mexican, we don't do that sort of thing. And I told him, besides, if we did do something like that, I wouldn't be hiding some creepy little pale elf around my house. My character would be hood as hell, and he would beat the crap out of your character and take his present. What? And we started having fun with it, and all of a sudden an idea came in my head and we started playing around with it, and I didn't really take it seriously. Then I went over to a friend of mine who I hold in high regards, a very creative person, Wendy Miller. I told her about this idea and she looked at me and she said, Mike, this is such a stupid idea. You should do this. Really? You think so? Yes. An idea went into a little bit of research and execution. 3 weeks later, my homie showed up. I want to introduce you to Manny, cholo on a lolo. What's up, fool? And when you squeeze him,
damn, you looking fine. What's up? Merry Christmas, fool. What's up, homie? Let's go get some tacos. That's what's up. We go low and we go slow, homie.
there's going to be a coloring book that's coming out. I wrote a book along with Wendy Miller, and she helped me write it, and we did illustration. So there's going to be a coloring book that comes out that's going to be talking about Manny and his friends and his adventures in East Los Angeles, and it's a feel-good story. It's not what you think it is, too. Very proud of it. It's actually in production right now, and it should be here probably within a month and a half. There's going to be a link below where you could pre-order this. I showed this to a couple of my friends, and one of them said something that was the best compliment in the world. He said, Mike, this is going to be the best thing to bring to a white elephant party. I love white elephant parties. So this was just supposed to be a little business that I was going to do with my sons and to get us into lowrider car shows and things like that. And we're just going to have fun with it. That's it. It came at a perfect time. Here's why. If any of you know my dad, any of you have ever met my father, he's one of the most lovable, nicest guys. He has a big heart. He's always smiling. We always do his mannerisms. And he seriously thinks he owns the Golden State Warriors and coaches them from his couch in San Francisco. Well, this year, my father was diagnosed with lung cancer. And yesterday was his first day of chemo and radiation. And he has a long fight ahead of him. The whole family does. We live in a country where healthcare is pretty expensive, even though he has great medical insurance. It's not going to cover everything. And the last thing I want my parents to think about is finances. A lot of my family members are going to be dedicated to helping him fight, helping him recover, and the aftermath, of course, of all this when he gets better. So what started out as a joke has now turned into something where I think Manny here is going to do a lot of good. Proceeds of Manny here, cholo on a lolo, will be going to help out my father and my family for the expenses, not just for the treatment, but for the at-home expenses. You know, the people taking time off. He's not going to be working. So therefore, this is going to be going to help pay for his organic food, his everyday care. If you go down to the link below, you'll be able to pre-order yourself a cholo on a lolo. I made a couple thousand, and you know, I really did this to make people laugh. I did, because everybody I introduced Manny to, and they squeeze him, and you know, they just let out a good laugh. And it's the biggest compliment to me, because that is what I love to do. I like to make people laugh. I like to show people a good time, and I like to bring a smile to their face. And I'm hoping when you order cholo on a lolo and he shows up to your door and you squeeze him for the first time, that he makes you laugh as well. Make sure to take pictures and send them to me, because I'm going to be posting all of them. From my family, from my father, from me, I want to say thank you very much for your support. I love you guys. Thank you.